Good evening, race fans. I'm Pirate here, Black Flag Racing TV. Thursday night, which means it's time for I'm already losing the ability to speak, and we are less than a minute into me speaking. This could go horribly wrong, couldn't it? We're here for Smoking Pirellis Tier 1 Thursday evening, the penultimate round, and we are today at Bahrain. But we have to talk about last week because it was insane. We had every possible weather condition you can get in Brazil. We got. There was sunshine, there was drizzle, there was rain, there was clouds, there was everything. And what transpired was something short of brilliance. The top three were not the top three you ever would have expected when you saw how everyone was lined up at the end of lap one. Two of the top three were towards the back of the field. One of the top three was last, properly, fully. Williams Racing last, crazy last. I think another invite's just come in for the room, so I'm assuming. I don't know if that's for other people. Actually, it might be for other people. Soon find out. Hang on. Already in. Right, anyway, sorry, apologies for that. So let's have a quick look at how it all transpired last time out. That was your top 10 in Brazil. Oni Jimmy, Explicit Simo and Nat Packers rounded out that top three. I don't think we've seen those three in the top three together ever. And I certainly don't think we've seen Jimmy or Simo anywhere near that high up the championship order. I mean, just look where they qualified. 11th, 19th and 12th. That's where they qualified, but they finished first, second and third. And that was after some bravery with some wet compound tyres. Or I think it was Inters actually, and then it got wet eventually. But it was absolute carnage. We only have to look at that just to see just how many drivers didn't finish last week. Tony, who was in the hunt for the championship, he didn't finish last week. Makes here Cameron Poulter, Sergat, Lewis the Beaker in the Ferrari, Rapid F1 in the Mercedes, and Pink Eye for Williams. All quick drivers, and in fact, two of the top three qualifiers were out, and three of the top five. That's how slippy and slidey it was. A quick look at the front three again, you can see there that it was insane. I mean, Rose did fight his way back into fifth, but that was the best that the current championship leader could handle. And what a race that was. This is how it leaves the Drivers' Championship going into the last two races of the season. We've got one here at Bahrain, then there is 1 week left, and that race, if I remember rightly, and I do, is at Portimao in Portugal next week for the final race of the season. And as we head in, Rose opens up that gap, especially with Tony not finishing last week. 361 points. If he'd had 4 points more, one position higher last week, and he would have this sewn up with a week to spare. So it's going to take... look, Tony's going to have to win the next two races with some fastest laps and some qualifying, and hope that Rose crashes out of both of them. That's the only way that Tony can nick this championship from Rose. He's second, 265 points. Nat Packer's creeping in the Haas into third on 257. So second still up for grabs here. Very much so. In fact, Tongo Prof, just outside that top three, can get another top three this season. Got one last season. Snuck in right at the last time out. Can he do it again? Then we're looking at Moikuli in fifth. Komzar in sixth. Makes here the highest placed reserve driver in seventh, 142 points. That's enough driving to qualify as an actual driver, not just a reserve. Tyler and Jay Hartnell both in the Alpine. Very, very similar in terms of performance. It's good when you see teammates that are that close in terms of performance and putting on a lot of good points for Alpine. 140 and 138 respectively. And Jimmy, with a great win last week, jumps into that top 10 in the AlphaTauri. And then obviously everybody else all the way down. The current reigning champion, Rapid F1 is where? Rapid F1 is 12th in the Mercedes-Benz teammate, Ilpina. just behind in 13th place. Skills down in 18th. He's trying to fight his way for the Tuesday Championship at the minute, but on Thursdays, reserve driver on Thursdays, of course, though, but down in 18th place. So still all to fight for this week. But Rose can win the championship this week outright, hands down. That's how the Constructors' Championship looks. That will go into the final week. Red Bull lead the way, 437 points. Alfa Romeo, 402. AlphaTauri just 3 points back in third. Certainly a potential for... AlphaTauri can still win the championship. There's 200 points available to them. So they can still win the championship. But, you know, it will take a big monumental effort. Well, it's not 200, it's 190, whatever it is. Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. Both drivers can't win the race, can they? But there we go. It is what it is. But there's your top four. Haas 357. Alpine not out of it either though. 315 points for them in fifth. They can break into that top three still. Williams adrift to 185. Can jump Ferrari into ninth, possibly with a good couple of performances. Jump eighth and jump Mercedes. So there we go. That's how it looks from last week. But moving on, we're just loading through now, but this is where we are this week.
Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit, and any moment now our drivers will take to the track and the Bahrain Grand Prix can begin. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race this one, with Sakhir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix.
Boom Shanker, thanks for that, Crofty. Handing over to me. Right, 18 minutes of qualifying here we have at Bahrain. And it is very, as you heard Crofty, my friend Crofty say, and he's absolutely right, it will rip the shit out of your tyres. Yeah, we will see how that works out. So, a couple of new names I don't recognise in there. Derry OG. Not seen them race before. I'm sure they have raced with these guys before, but not in front of me. Right, Lee Craig, Dario, Ilpina in the Mercedes-Benz, Sagat Komzar, current championship leader and possibly, by the end of today, the Thursday Tier 1 champion, Rose, Bingram, Blanks, Andre, Jay Hartnell's out there, Rapid F1, Grog from YouTube, Jimmy, Pro Striker or Prostituta, Pink Eye is out there today, Nat Packers, Muy Cully, Makesa, KVI Tony, and of course Jizzy bringing up the rear, and I forgot to do all of this when I was doing it. So at the rear we have Jizzy. Out there also we have KVI Tony. There he is. Tony's there. Tony. Yeah. Very, very cheap. Laughs. Nat Packers. I'm really clutching the straws, to be fair. After Jizzy, I kind of went downhill. And of course, how can we forget Rose? I know that's awful, isn't it? It's awful. But anyway, qualifying ensues. Let's have a little go on board with. Let's go with Bingram. Bingram is on an out lap at the moment. I want each little track map up if I can find it. There it is. Then I can watch when people have crashed, of course. So nice little out lap for Bingram. Complicated track this, especially if you want to get it right every time. There's some really good straights, really, really good. 3 DRS opportunities, so lots of opportunity for that. But there are some corners that can be quite tricky. Turn 1, 2, 3, quick succession to each other. Very dangerous point to be on the first lap. Take it freaking easy, peeps. because away from the line you head into turn 1, and it's on top of you very, very quickly from the start. And we quite often see a bit of carnage in turn 1 here, and I don't want to see that shizzle today. Oh no, sorry Bob, no we don't. Right, so Bingham, why are we going on board with Bingham? I don't know, but here we go. So on board we are with Bingham, and you head down to the I'll get rid of all that. There we go. Head down to turn 1. You can see here just how short a run it is from the grid slots, and it almost cuts back on itself before you flick it to this left hand side, sweeping round to the right into the first of the 3 DRS zones, past the 2P0 signs, 50 metre board, on those brakes, get it turned into 3rd gear before you're back on that power and let it drift round to the left, before you've got this little section here which is right, left, sweeping into a big braking zone at the bottom here. Very, very easy to lose the back end as you put the power on coming out of there. Now this is where it's tricky. You sweep round to the left and you're braking, not really in a straight line there unfortunately, for that left-hander before you hit DRS zone number 2. Up to full pelt, you want to keep the car on this right-hand side under the DHL sign, and you let off just a little bit through the gears down to 5th to sweep it round that left-hander before getting back on the power. Then it sweeps to the right. You can stay on the power, but just be wary on cold tyres, and it might not necessarily hold the back end, so just be wary. And then of course it goes round to the right hand side before DRS zone number 3 is bearing upon you very, very shortly. That is a big right hander there, takes you to this start finish straight and the last DRS zone. Boom, there it is. You've got your pits on your right hand side, you cross the line, and that is a hot lap here at Bahrain. How do you like them apples? Well, he likes them. That is a 1:28.3 for Bingham, which initially puts him on provisional pole. Whether he keeps it or not, that's another matter, but we will see. So Bingham, press the wrong button again. That's the one I want. Right, Bingham on pole, joined on the front row currently by Makes-It, who's put in a 1:28.4, only a couple of hundredths difference. Then Ilpina in the Mercedes-Benz coming back into the pits. Nat Packers in the Haas in 4th. That's row 2, locked out by Ilpina and Nat Packers. Komza and Omni Jimmy. Great result for Jimmy last week in that AlphaTauri with that win. They are teammates and they are less than a couple of hundredths of a second apart on row 3. Prostituta, or Pro Striker should I say, just dropped out of row 4. Sir Gat and Pink Eye, both teammates as well, lock out row number 4. Only briefly though, as it is Rapid F1, up to 5th, Blanks in 6th, Cobbs off 7th, and the times are just dropping. There's Rose onto pole position for Rose. If he finishes the race here today, he will be crowned champion, and he will be, I think, uncatchable. Certainly in terms of the championship. Down to the top one, there's a spin. You don't want to be spinning your car there. That's not a good place to spin. I'm actually missing a couple of things I was going to put in there, but anyway, done and dusted. I'm not putting them on now. I did need to find it actually because one of them was quite funny. Anyway, Pro Striker in 12th, Lee Craig in 13th, Moy Cooley in 14th place. Grog is in 15th alongside Tony with a 29.7. That's not going to set him well for the championship. If he finishes there, he could be in danger of dropping out of the top 3, let alone putting some pressure on Rose. And there he is, your friend of mine, Jizzy Jizz, in 17th place. How are you doing, Tator? Thank you for the little monster wave. A monster wave right back at you, my friend. Right back at you. And Jizzy waves too. So Dario putting in. Dario. I'm calling him Dario because I like it. Because it's what I do. Andre and Jay Hartnell still to put in hot laps. 8 minutes into qualifying already. Who is quick and on? Let's go with Tony because Tony is a lot quicker than 16th might suggest. So I think we'll go on board with Tony. Oh, bugger off. idiot button presser. That's the one I want to get rid of. The rest of them I can keep. While we're here, I do want to get up some lap data, just so we can keep an eye on how quick Tony is going around here. 29.7 is his current lap time. This is, I think he's actually on the hot lap now. Or is he winding up for a hot? He's certainly winding up for one of his, if this isn't his hot lap. DRS open, heading across that line. That was definitely an outlap, because he could go a lot quicker than that. Is he going to be held up? There's a McLaren just there, which could possibly hold him up. Hopefully that doesn't do that. Good evening, Forza. How the hell are you, my friend? Good to see you. See you tomorrow, of course, for some Euro Trips F1. See if you can start knocking on the door of that championship and breaking it down and keeping it for yourself. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Tony is currently second in the championship. Tony, of course. Tony, second in the championship, and trying to find a way around Rose. But Rose, of course, on pole, and if he stays there, if he wins this race from pole, he will be crowned champion before the final race next week at Portimao. And talking of Forza Ferrari, he had a race at Portimao a couple of weeks back where he was absolutely phenomenal. Didn't put a foot wrong, and I think finished something like 20 odd seconds clear. He was so far ahead, he had time for an extra pit stop he didn't even need to do. That's how far ahead he was. The Chuckles thing, this one? And Jizzy. I need a theme tune for Jizzy now, don't I? I think that's the thing missing. That's my job for this week. For this weekend, I will find, as Tony puts himself into 7th position there, I will find a theme tune to go with Jizzy. How about that? Right, so Rose, he's on an outlap. He just wants to consolidate that pole position. 1:28.1 so far for him. Bingham, who we went on board with when it started, with a 1:28.1. Sorry, it was 1:28.1 for Komzar, who pushes Bingham down to third very briefly until Bingham does that. Gets themselves on to pole. Awesome lap. That's a 1:28.1, 2, 3. And that is just a couple of thousandths of a second quicker than Rose. And Rose on an outlap will want to prove a point and smash that out of the park. Rose running in second, of course. Komzar and makes it now on row 2. Ilpina and Nat Packers round out row 3. Everyone in well, at the moment we've got 1:28.1 on pole, and 1:29.2 is Moikuli in 15th place. That's how close this spread is. Rapid F1 in 7th alongside KVI Tony, who's got some work to do today if he wants to keep this championship alive as Pro Striker, or otherwise known as Prostituta. Put themselves 7th on the grid, pushing Nat Packers, Rapid F1 and Tony down another slot or 2. Pink Eye jumping onto row 2 as well with a 1:28.3. The times are starting to drop. Jimmy, last week's winner. That's a bit of somebody's win, might even be Jimmy's. Just disappearing from underneath the car. Last week's winner is in 13th and will be alongside Blanks on the grid. Moikuli and Grog behind them, as Tony getting pushed further and further down as these times are tumbling. There's Jizzy. Oh, Jizzy. In 17th place. Dario puts in a time of a 1:30.3 in 18th position. With just Andre, I think just Andre, only Andre left to set a lap, because Jay Hartnell puts in a 1:29.1. So the difference between Jay Hartnell in 15th place and Bingham in first is 1 second and a couple of thousandths. That's the difference. Absolutely amazingly close grid. I think 1.5 seconds separates Bingram and Grog. Bingram on pole and Grog on the second to last row, row 9. Wouldn't it be good if we had F1 grids that were that darn close all the way through the race? That'd be awesome. It's not going to be anything like that, especially not if you take a look at how bad McLaren are looking. Yeah, it's not looking great for McLaren at the moment. They've got significant work to do. I hear they've got some upgrades coming, but basically what I hear is that McLaren changed their mind about the way they were developing their car, but changed their mind so late that they had to just carry on what they were doing and rely on the changes in an upgrade later on in the season. So they're going to be darn slow, and I think that means that Oscar Piastri is going to look like a big bag of dog shit. But we will see. You never know. There's your pole sitter in the pits. There's 3 minutes left of qualifying. Everybody just tweaking their settings now before they go out and give it a final little blast, and we'll see where they all end up after that happens. Hold the line, caller. I have something very quickly I need to go and take care of. I'll be back in 30 seconds. He has returned. Hello there, Alexi. How the hell are you, Alexi? Good of you to join us this evening. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves, have a bit of fun, because this shit is going down. Right, so, who has got out already? Komzar, Ilpina is out on track. Komzar out on track. Sergat, Pro Striker, Andre, Moikuli, and Grog, all out there. Everybody has set a time now, including Andre, took their time. It was a 1:28.7. So everybody now has set a representative time. And everyone, bar Dario, who is new, is sub 1 minute 30. And is there a sub 1:28 in there? Jizzy, yes, I do have something for you, mate. Would you like this? That's for you, mate. There you go. Just for you, Jizzy. There you go. Just for you, mate. All yours. And it's a big one, mate. 2 hands. I'm going to do you a theme tune to go with it. To be fair, I was so busy this week doing one for Chuck and Chopper, and they didn't even freaking turn up to hear it. I was gutted. Absolutely gutted. But there we go. Right, so Big Wheel currently on pole, 1:28.123. Just a couple of thousandths behind is Rose with a 28.129. 28.154 for Ilpina and a 28.183 for Komzar. There is less than a tenth between Big Room on pole and Pink Eye in 4th place, and that's Komzar spinning the car around. And I'm sorry, but
you can't park that there, mate.
Yeah, get me? You can't park that there. So Bingram still vying to put a new hot lap in. I apologise for my daughter singing. It sounds like the cat's being killed, but we don't even own a cat. 1:28.1 for Bingram is currently out there. Think that's a hot lap. We'll soon find out if it's a hot lap. That suggests not. This one is, though. Shall we? No, I'm not going to go. We'll watch it from afar because we're waiting to see. We've got a few others out there. Rose's going to want to set a quicker time. Yulpina, Komzar, Pink Eye, Blanks. They're all there or thereabouts in terms of time. It won't take much. Just a couple of tenths for Pink Eye, a couple of tenths for Blanks or for Makes here or for Lee Craig, and all of a sudden that top 4 is looking very, very different. But as it stands, the top 4 is Bingram, Rose, Ilpina and Komzar. Ilpina can't improve. Komzar can't improve. Neither does Rapid F1, nor does Andre. And Andre went out really, really late. Just goes back to comments I've made earlier in the season about banker lap. Not having that banker lap has given Andre quite a difficult proposition now, because they didn't have, I mean, well, I suppose that was their banker lap, but they didn't really have time to set anything else. So can Bingram improve? Can Rose nick this lastminute.com? Jimmy retires from the session, had enough of all that. The win last week really took it out of him, I heard, and he had to have an ice bath and a rub down from a guy called Steve. The last part might not be true about the guy called Steve. The ice bath's definitely true. I heard it on the grapevine. Right, so Bingram, that's a 127.6. Absolutely melts that. What about Rose now? Rose is the only person that can improve on that. I can't imagine we're going to see anybody else getting better than that. Now, what a time that was. A 127.6 from Bingram. And across the line goes Rose. Does improve to 27.8, but does not get pole.
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words.
Yeah, stolen his dreams and his childhood. That's it. Rose cannot take pole. Dario can, but I imagine with a time like a 130.3, it would take one hell of an improvement to knock that one out of the park, but going into the pits. So there we go. That's your lineup of 20 drivers. Rose vying for the championship, but not from pole position this evening. Good evening, fingers, you big fat bell end. How the bloody hell are you? Good of you to join us this evening. Looking forward to tomorrow, my friend. Looking forward to tomorrow. And talking of tomorrow, I'm involved in something very new tomorrow. I will be a guest on a very cool F1 podcast called Eurotrips F1. They do a lot of football. I think it's one of the top 100 football podcasts on Spotify. But they also do other sports. They do American football, and they do, which I don't get. It's not fucking football. Yeah, good. Gutted time. I did see you were stuck at work in your van. How you doing, BC Games? How the bloody hell are you? Good of you to join us as well. So there we go. That is your lineup for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Bingram in the Aston Martin on pole position, joined on the front row by the possibly by the end of today, the champion from Jamaica in the Red Bull. Ilpina in a Mercedes is on row 2 alongside Komzar in the AlphaTauri. The two Williams lock out row 3 with Pink Eye and Sir Gat. Alpine and Alfa Romeo in Makes It and Binks on row 4. I don't know what I call him Binks, his name's Blanks. Lee Craig and Tony in the McLaren and the Alpha on row 5. Then it's Pro Striker, Nat Packers, Rapid F1, Jimmy, Moikuli, Andre, J. Hartnell, Grog, Jizzy, and Dario at the very, very back of the pack. And I've got them all in, but I think all the team's in. I'm getting better at this shit. I should do this for a living. Why on earth would they be sandbagging? Why on earth would they be doing that? It makes no sense. For them to be sandbagging here. They need the points, innit? We're coming towards the end of the season. We're going to be sandbagging now. So, what do you reckon, Sam? How's things going to go?
Everybody strap in!
Okay, I think they will, Sam. Thank you. So, really important race this, because this is the one where Rose can guarantee the championship. The good thing about guaranteeing a week early is it means you can relax in the last race and not worry. We've seen, not in F1, we've seen with on GT7 on Monday, how you can go into the last race of the championship, some points clear, and lose it. And we saw that with Wiggy. Wiggy was 6 points clear in the GR4 Championship going into the last week. Had a terrible race number 2. Did a right race number 1, came in second. That's what he needed. Second. That's what he needed. Second. Probably would have been enough. First they give the slime, then they pull the matto. Yeah. It's a dangerous game to play doing that though, sandbagging, isn't it? Bit of a dangerous game. So, here we go. This is your formation lap here at Bahrain, Sakir in Bahrain. It is Bingram leading everyone out, 29 laps here. This is Smoking Pirellis, Thursday Tier 1. These are their best of their best. And we are very likely to be crowning ourselves Well, we won't crown him today. We'll make him wait until next week because that's how we roll. But we'll see. We'll see. Tony, if he wants to win this championship, back in 10th place, he's got so much work to do. It's insane. And if he does win the championship from here...
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to fucking acknowledge it.
Yeah, I can't see it happening personally, but you never know. You never know. Nat Packer's currently sitting in 12th place, is third in the championship, and that's a Mercedes that's managed to get themselves turned around while on a formation lap.
You can't park that there, mate. You can't park that there, mate.
Double reminder, because you crashed on a formation lap. So they'll come round into sector 3 now, getting as much heat into those tyres as they possibly can. So we have a quick look at tyres before we start. So only Jimmy going for the soft compound tyres, and the only driver to do so. So they will need to get a great start, make some places, and really get those tyres working early. Try and carve their way through the pack. Now, that could be because they're banking on a safety car. That they're going to run those soft compound tyres, hope for a safety car 5, 6, 7 laps in, and then maybe change up the strategy. Makes his day, yeah? Makes his. Is that what you call him? Makes it. So, Lee Craig, he's not disqualified from the session. That'd be ridiculous. Right, let's go on board with Pink Eye in the... There we go. In the Williams racing car. And just see how we do into turn 1. Rosé's going to want a really good start. He's going to have the inside line going into turn 1. But it's whether he can get there or not. That's another matter. So there we've got 2, we've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5 lights. They go out and... we are away. And Pink Eye with a great start. Already up into 4th place. Making a move on the Mercedes-Benz of Alpina. Alpina going to hold that inside line though. But Rosé inside up into turn 1. And that's a little touch from Alpina on to the pole sitter, who is dropping through that order like a stone. That wasn't brilliant stuff, to be fair. Just outbroke themselves, Alpina. And we saw the pole sitter, Bingham, lose a few places down to 5th. But a few people have lost places there. Let's have a little looky-see just how many people have lost out there. So Komzar loses 4. Sergat loses 4. Tony loses 4 places. Moy Cully loses 4. And oh my days. I'm disappointed, upset, and I want to cry because we have no more jizz. As much as we want to see jizz all over the place, but there is no jizz. The jizz is all gone, and this safety car is so we can clear up all that jizz that is now all over the racetrack. I think I've said jizz enough in one 1 hour broadcast. Technically, you don't hear the word jizz as much as this, even on OnlyFans, for the most die-hard of sites. Virtual safety car on lap 1, because guess what? We're at Bahrain and something happened in turn 1. It's basically like Monza, but with less Italian people. So, Rosé, header makes that move early doors, gets the inside line up in turn 1. And it never made sense to me why pole position is not on the inside at most of these racetracks. It's stupid, in fact. But there we go. Anyway, Rosé is in the lead of this race. This will be his championship over Pina. Okay, I'm loving this. So, Il Pina is over Pina. I'm not going to fucking remember that. I'll try, but I'm not going to remember that. But I do love the fact that Tater is GOAT in finish. Loving it. Lee Craig out of this race as well. So that's 2 DNFs already. Disappointing, guys. Disappointing. So Rosé leads the way from over Pina. See if I can remember that. Well indeed, Jizzy. Well. That didn't go too great, did it, on lap 1? Is he in your Alpine, is he? Well, currently running in 3rd in your Alpine, which is better than you doing it, to be fair. Sorry, Tyler. Sorry. Pink Eye running in fourth. Bingham was your pole sitter already in the Aston Martin down into fifth place. And I'll tell you what, Aston Martin are a team you want to watch out for this season in the proper F1. No, this is the proper, in the other F1, the real life one where people can actually die. Because I think I think they've got I say decent driver line. I don't rate Stroll as much as others do, but I do think that Nando is an excellent driver and can do something with that car. It's looking pretty good. There is Blanks making a move on Bingham potentially up the inside, makes that move, makes it stick up to fifth place, and Bingham is dropping down that order now. 5 places lost. Everyone in the top 5 has gained places. Makes here and Blanks have gained loads, but do have penalties. A lot of penalties out there. Lot of penalties. Little Peter will have that is for the contact in turn 1, I would assume. And Blanks makes is up into 4th place. Pink Eye briefly having a go at Bingham, but doesn't make that stick. So has to just drop back into 6th place. Let's have a look at the back of the pack, because we don't often go and have a look down there. Grog hasn't lost any places, hasn't gained anything either. We're currently running in 18th place. Lee Craig and Jizzy, of course, already out of this race. Last week's winner, after a torrid rain shower, Jimmy is already 15 seconds back from Sergat. And he is 10 places down from where he qualified. Qualified in the top 6. Now languishing in 16th place. 6.3 seconds behind a championship hopeful in KVI Tony. But from there, not only is first place out of reach, second could be under incredible pressure. And maybe even remaining in that top 3 too. The fact that Tomgo Prof is not racing today is probably the biggest, happiest moment of Tony's life, because Tomgo Prof can't break into that top 4 if he's not racing. Andre running in 14th place, 2 places gained for Andre, and running half a second behind Moy Quilly, potentially nicking that spot from the Ferrari. But are they going to be able to make the move? That's the question. DRS zone coming up very shortly. There is a yellow flag in sector 1. That is because Sergat's in the pits, maybe with a broken car. So on the power, very good, a very good exit from Andre. Can he make the move on Moy Cully? Not there, just backs out. Probably not the wisest place to make it, but with exits like that, it's going to happen very soon. And the car in front on the hard compound tyres, Andre is on those softer medium tyres. Yeah, 3 fins out of the points at the moment. It's because fins all suck. I'm joking. I was about to say fins all suck. I didn't mean that. I'm joking. Of course they don't all suck. Right, so there is Andre closing on Moy Cully. The DRS just not enough to get that move done. And it looks like Moy Cully is just starting to find the lines now and keep Andre at bay. But being on the softer tyres and knowing they've got to finish first, they really need to get that car ahead of the Mercedes-Benz. Jay Hartnell running in the Alpine in 11th place, 1.8 seconds back from Comzar, who's putting the frighteners on that Packers. Does that move stick? Absolutely it does. Into turn 1. Can they keep it there? They absolutely can. And move up into 9th place. Nat Packers dropping down to 10th. Although it's still 2 places up from the original starting position. Rapid F1. Good to see him running in that top 10 again. 8th position for Rapid F1. Gained 5 places. And is closing on Prostituta in the... so we're seeing two Ferraris under pressure, and went to make the move there. Nearly a bit of contact between the Mercedes-Benz and the Ferrari. Something I imagine we'll see a lot this season. Defend like a lion, not a chicken. Absolutely. But Rapid F1 not able to make that move, and Pro Striker is living to fight another day. It's a bit of a DRS train. It's difficult to make that overtake when the cars all around you also have a bit of DRS. Pro Striker is half a second back from Pink Eye, and I got that once after fingering a girl behind some bins. 2.8 seconds. Pink Eye, sometimes I need to think about what I overshare. 2.8 seconds behind Bingram in 5th place. Seriously, I think that tickled me, that did. Bingram currently was on pole, has dropped 4 places from the start, didn't have the greatest of starts, but is still inside that top 5. But out of the DRS zone of... I was about to jump onto Blanks. Blanks and Ilpina having a great little battle. Ilpina, of course, will be carrying a penalty after that coming together in turn 1. But also, Blanks has one as well. Makes that move, makes it stick, but for how long? And it's over Pina. I've got to remember, over Pina. Over Pina. Up into 3rd briefly, then back into 4th. These guys are proper duking it out. Look at this. Is there a move up the inside here? Blanks makes it stick. Bingram has to back out. But while these two are battling, is Bingram going to have the opportunity to go blasting past them? Well, that's one move made there. Move made on Ilpina, and these guys are absolutely battling out. And over Pina goes a little bit too deep. And finds themselves dropping to 5th place. So the big winner there, Blanks gains 2 places. Bingram moves up as well. That's top 3 now. Makes it in that Alpine. Driving it very well and showing Tyler how he should be driving that car on a mega regular basis. And but 3.3 seconds behind Rosa. Rosa is absolutely dominating at the moment and determined to have this championship sewn up by the midway point in this race. We've now lost Sagat, Lee Craig and Jizzy from this race. I know, do you know what? It's because I'm looking at it and I'm trying to say what I see, but I've also got in my mind trying to remember. Now, I know you could argue that I see Jinxie and I say Jizzy. It's because I called him Jizzy by accident. And it kind of stuck and said, I will try and remember over Pina. It'll come. So Rose leads away from Jamaica in the Red Bull. Yeah, I mean, 3.5 seconds, that's a really, really solid lead for him out front. He's on the hard compound tyres as well, which means he can go nice and deep into this race. And talking of things that go deep, Jizzy! Moving on.
How dare you?
Right, so Makes It is in 2nd place, 3.5 seconds back. 5 places gained in the Alpine, running really well and holding Bingram off. Bingram has made their way back up into that top 3. Over Pina, see, I got it right this time. Over Pina loses a couple of places, drops down to 5th. Had to come together with I think it was Bingram in turn 1. I'm sure it was Bingram into turn 1, and Bingram dropped down a little bit, but has worked their way back into that top 3. Blanks up into 4th, just half a second back, and again a little DRS train there from Bingram through Blanks and over Pina. Pink Eye and Pro Striker both of IRS. And have you paid your taxes, folks? Because that's what these people do. They chase you down and steal 25% of everything you freaking earned because they think they deserve it. I'm only joking. I'm sure they don't actually work for the IRS or the tax office or whatever the equivalent is in your hometown. Comzar running in 8th place, half a second back, in the middle of that DRS train from Pink Eye through Pro Striker Comzar, Rapid F1 back in 9th. So that's a battle essentially for 6th place between those 4 cars. Just rounding out the top 10, that's Nat Packers, who's dropping off the back of the of the top half of the order in the Haas. One of the Haas cars. Said Dr. Seuss. He drives it fast and like a moose. Jay Hartnell, just within that, just within that DRS zone of the back of Nat Packers in the 2nd Alpine. And then it's a big gap back to Andre, 4.3 seconds. I say big gap. I mean, in the scheme of things, 4.3 seconds isn't huge. But I suppose in the scheme of racing, when you consider that it was only a second and a half separating the top 18 cars in qualifying, 4.5 seconds is a monumental age. Moiculi in the Ferrari couldn't hold Andre off for any longer. It has dropped down to 13th, but it's 6/10 back. 2 places gained, of course, so it's it's still not disastrous. Tony 15.7 seconds behind Moiculi in the Alfa Romeo at the moment, and looks to be struggling a little bit with pace in these early stages. Last week's winner, Jimmy in the AlphaTauri, running in 15th place. Who's that dropping down the order? Pink Eye dropping down. That's a big, big drop. Pink Eye. Oh, sorry, man. There we go.
You can't park that there, mate.
Gets back up to speed, but is down in 13th place and dropping closer and closer and closer to Tony. They make the move around Andre, who look like to be having a problem themselves. So whatever Andre did to get around Moiculi, to lose out to Moiculi, he's also done to Pink Eye, and Pink Eye gets ahead despite the spin. Daryl play 1.4 seconds back from Jimmy, and Grog is 7/10 back in 17th place in the other Haas. We've lost Sagat, we've lost Lee Craig, and we've lost Jizzy. How terribly unprofessional. Oh, wrong button. I can't put it on Do Not Disturb now because I'm doing this. Oh well, tough shit. Rose leads the way still. It's 3.4 seconds. 3.4. With Mates here still running in second place. Doing a really good job though. Holding Bingham outside that DRS zone and able just to keep the pace going. Let's bring the tyres back up and just see what everybody is running. I don't want telemetry, I want that, and I want tyres. You'd think I'd know where everything was by now, wouldn't you? But I don't. Right, so Rose leads the way, makes it a second, and Bingham rounds out the top 3. They're all on the hard compound tyres. They're going to one-stop this and be on the medium tyres towards the end of the race. Well, I'm assuming they're going to one-stop it. It could very much be that we have a safety car and shit goes down, and then that all changes. Or, I suppose Bahrain, it's not going to rain in fucking Bahrain, is it? Even though there's rain in the name, it's not going to rain in Sakir. Blanks is up to 4th place. 9 laps on those medium compound tyres.
Use face recognition to unlock the device.
I don't know why does my phone do? My phone. Do you know what? I don't use it, facial recognition or anything like that on my phone, right? But for some reason, whenever I do a broadcast, he wants to start fucking talking to me like a big fat fucking disobedient penis. Overpena running in 5th place. I want to have a look actually at how much penalty they have. So 5 seconds for Blanks and 5 seconds for Pina. That will drop them both behind at the moment. Behind Rapid F1, just I think. I'll do the math. Yeah, behind Rapid F1. So they're currently running in 4th and 5th, but they will drop down to 9th and 10th. It'd be beyond Rapid F1, wherever Rapid F1 ends up. So they would be still 7th and 8th, wouldn't they? Because everyone else will move up 2 places. Math, baby. Pro Striker, 3.3 seconds back, will go into the top 4. Comms are just behind half a second back. They don't have penalties. 5 seconds for Mukuli, 5 seconds for Andre, and 5 seconds for Tony. This dude right here. And I realise it actually looks more like a thumb than it does a toe. But I don't care. Rapid F1 up to 7th place. 7/10 back from comes on the medium compound tyre. So will pit before Rapid F1 does. And that will give Rapid F1 a little bit of track position. Probably a bit more as well when Blanks goes in. They're most likely going to serve those penalties at the pit stop. There is Nat Packers. Nat packing across the universe. Oh my god, I found your theme tune. I'm going to write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. I'm not going to sing it, I'll find it. So that's what you've got to look forward to on Tuesday. So Tuesday we'll have Chuckle Vision and we'll have Nat Packers with their theme tune. Jay Hardle in 9th place. just within that DRS zone, but not close enough for it to be any major benefit in terms of gaining track position. At least not at the moment. Close a little bit closer and it could change. There is a time penalty for Dario, who's 11.9 seconds back. Moikuli is into that top 10 finally. 5.9 seconds though behind Jay Hartnell. That's at the expense of Pink Eye. Although Pink Eye, having none of it, wants some of it, but Moikuli holds off for the time being.
Denied.
But it's not going to last for very long. Pink Eye is still crawling all over the back of that Ferrari. Wants to get the Williams moving forward. And hopefully we can see an overtake. We like a bit of that. Either an overtake or a massive crash. Either is just as entertaining. But only one's got any comedy in it. So Pink Eye, good exit here. And that is a wonderful exit. On the power, DRS will open. Bink, there it is. Can the Williams car make a move now on the Ferrari? Not quite close enough. Surprised actually, because really, really good exit. But Pink Eye making some awesome moves on the back of Moikuli right now. And just trying to find taking slightly different lines for every corner. Trying to find a way through, hoping that there's a gap. More DRS coming up very, very shortly. They're certainly within the in the realms of taking this. Good exit here. It's a big, long straight. Good, decent exit. DRS will open right now. And there we go. On the power. Up the inside. This is where the move's going to get made. Well, it's very surprised that Moikuli is not defending that inside line. And under braking. Can Pink Eye get this move done? Plenty of room given. And actually probably more respect by Moikuli than they probably need to give Pink Eye. Me personally, to be fair, if I was that quick, I'd be doing something better. But I'll be up that inside line and not letting it happen. Here we go, another opportunity to make the move. Side by side, Pink Eye makes the move this time. Does that move stick? Hell yes, it does. But it does mean now that Moikuli's going to get a little bit of DRS. When we round, we've got a couple of corners left, and then a bit of DRS help for the Ferrari driver. Although, look at Pink Eye. Pink Eye's pulling out a gap already. 666, 701, 369 and a 122. I thought we were just shouting out random numbers. Moikuli is now, that's just not even close in the DRS zone, but it's not going to be sufficient to close up. And Pink Eye demonstrating some phenomenal pace. So Moikuli dropping out of that top 10. Very disappointing. Grog is running in 12th place, and we've lost now Dario as well from this race. We've lost Jizzy, Lee Craig, Sir Gat, and Dario. But, touch wood, we've only had a VSC so far, no actual safety cars. And we're already pretty much at the halfway point. That's some big moves from Nat Packers and Jay Hartnell, but that's because Blanks and Coms are coming into the pits to change out those medium compound tyres for some nice, lovely, jubbly, hard ones. So 14 laps is what the mediums can do. Now we will see just how far they can take it. Remember, Jizzy started on the soft compound tyre for all the freaking good that did. So Pro Striker is on the medium compound, running in 15th, just 6 tenths behind Tony, who's on the hard compound tyre. And in terms of stops already, who hasn't stopped? Well, there you can see it right there. Tony hasn't stopped yet, and he's back in 14th place. So absolutely devastating day at the office, and this could very well cost him. Look, to be fair, Nat Packers has still got some work to do, but it could very well cost him second in the championship today if it gets any worse. So full rundown, shall we? Pretty much everyone on the track now is on the hard compound tyres, are they not? Other than Pink Eye, Grog, who are consistently changing position here, really battling it out, those two. There's Grog, he's going around the outside of Pink Eye this time, maybe. No. Tries the old switcheroo? No. But it is a Haas tucked in behind a Williams, and behind them it's Tony. No, it's not, it's Jimmy. It's Jimmy in the Alpha Tauri. So Pink Eye again makes that move, and how long can these guys battle like this and not take too much tyre or fuel out? That's very, very wide from Jimmy, incredibly wide indeed. Up the inside goes Grog, under braking, brave. Yes, but not super duper duper brave, and certainly not brave enough to make that move. DRS wide open yet again. This time, not close enough, but there is Jimmy making a move on Grog. Jimmy up to 12th place, up the inside. Do they make the move on Pink Eye? No, but the racing is still going off between these three cars. They are absolutely battling out. Now, this is where Pink Eye can really benefit. If Grog and Jimmy battle this out for any longer and are really holding each other up, then Pink Eye can just pull out a little bit of a gap, a little bit of safety, and say, thank you very much, but I am off. I'm having none of your shenanigans, and I will disappear, and that'll be that. You won't see me ever again. I'll be like Madeleine McCann. Jimmy in 12th, Grog in 13th. I'm so going to get shut down, am I? Tony running in 14th. Pro Striker in 15th place. And well, no, not anymore. Because Pro Striker making the move on Tony up into 14th. Tony dropping down to 15th place. And still got a pit as well as Tony. Big trouble is Tony in right now. Pigram into the pits. And then is that in the pits again? Or just coming out of the pits on the medium compound tyre. We'll run to the end on that lovely jubbly medium. So Rose leads by 6.8 seconds. And the top 7, all running on the hard compound tyre, all have done 15 laps on that tyre. This one-stop strategy means at some point over the next lap or two, they'll start to come in and they'll put on the medium compound to run to the end of this race. There's always that little kind of mid-race worry that, you know, do I hang on for a lap or two and hope for a safety car and a free pit stop? Or do I just come in and get it done in the knowledge that I could come out and very well there'll be a pit stop straight afterwards? It is a little bit of kind of squeaky bum time when you make a pit like this, particularly when you're the last few left that need to do so. It's only Jimmy and Tony outside that top 7 that still need to go in and change their tyres before the end. Well, they don't need to. They could stay out if they really wanted to. Apart from Tony. Tony has to put on the option compound. So, I mean, Jimmy could stay out if they really wanted to, but it would be insanity. It makes you think, doesn't it? With Over Peanut, I remembered that time. I remembered Over Peanut in 3rd position, 8 tenths back from Maxia, who is currently running 2nd. That's your top 3. Rapid F1. And Tony is out of this race. That is very disappointing for Tony. That's another retirement. And we've already had 5 retirements from this race. Tony being the latest. Oh, shit. So, whatever championship hopes were alive when this race started, evaporate and disappear.
You have stolen my dreams.
Yeah, I've stolen your dreams. Sorry, man. All gone. So Tony out of this race, and potentially, this could potentially be out of the top 3 as well. Actually, I say that it could be out of 2nd place, because the only real challenge for top 3 at the moment is Tom Go Prof, and Tom no go racing today. Tom go do something else instead of race. So Tom not go Prof, Tom no go do nothing. Don't know what Tom go do, but Tom no go race. So there we go. Rose going into the pits for his mandatory stop. What about Maxius? Does Maxius stay out? Certainly looks that way. No, Maxius in. Over Peanut is in. A rapid F1 stays out, and this will be the first time, I think, this season that the reigning champion will lead a Formula 1 race here. He's the reigning champion, isn't he? I'm not remembering things incorrectly. He is actually the current reigning champion, right? Yeah, I think he is. Why am I second guessing myself? Rapid F1's the current champion. Yes, this is the first time I think in the 9 races this season that he's led a race. I could be wrong. In fact, I usually am on many occasions, but we'll see. Anyway, he's still got a pit stop anyway, so it won't last, because Rose comes back out in 2nd. Separated by Murikoli is Bingham and Rose. The difference between them is about 7 seconds at the moment, there or thereabouts. Rose, of course, will regain the lead of this race when Rapid F1 goes in. Moikuli, of course, will also have to go in. They've done 17 laps now, both of them on those hard compound tyres. But here we go. I said it, didn't I? You come out of the pits and then straight away as a safety car. So Rapid F1 and Moikuli both going to get a free pit stop here. Well, I mean, it's not entirely free. They're going to lose a few places, but it's certainly significantly cheaper than it would have been had they pit on lap 15. So I think it's about time to have a little rundown of the full order, and we'll start from 14th backwards, because then we should by then have all the people going in the pits and we can catch up with them. So there we go, Rapid F1 in, Moikuli will be going in a minute. Right, there we go. So at the back of the pack now, bear in mind that we have lost, by this we've lost Jizzer. I'm not looking forward to pressing your button again, mate. You've had it plenty today. Lee Craig, Sergat, Dario, Tony and Jimmy, all gone. Jizzy and Jimmy, all gone. Both of them. Both out of this race. 4 of them did 0 laps on those tyres that they were on before that happened. Right, so Andre is running in 14th place. Fresh tyres for them. Pink Eye in 13th, fresh tyres. Pro Striker Prostituta in the Ferrari. 12th place, fresh tyres. Grog, 2 laps, old tyres, but to all intents and purposes fresh, because one of those has been behind a safety car. They are running in 11th place. Top 10 rounded out by Jay Hartnell on fresh and medium compound tyres. Blanks in 9th, fresh medium compound tyres. Komzar in 8th with a penalty and some medium compound tyres. Nice and fresh. Moikuli has gone for soft, fresh tyres. Now, can they do 10 laps? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Can I do 10 laps on these soft compound tyres without wearing the tyres too much that I crash into a big fireball in the wall and never to be seen again? Apart from a big pile of ash. Don't know is the honest answer. Nat Packers in 6th place. That's top 6 for Nat Packers. That helps close the gap on 2nd in the championship. Won't close the gap on Rose. Rose will be crowned champion today. Well, not today. We'll announce that he's champion. We just won't crown him because we don't love him that much. Overpina is currently running in 5th. Nice fresh tyres. Waiting for this safety car to go in. Is it going in this lap? No, it is not. Rapid F1 up in that top 4 did benefit from a safety car by staying out a little bit longer. Nice one, Sunshine. Makes it 1 lap old medium tyres, running in 3rd. Is behind Bingram, who was the pole sitter, and is sitting behind the person who will, if this finishes as it is, will be the new Season 5 champion of the world. Well, champion of Thursday nights between 7 and 9. But, you know, there's nothing to be sniffed at, is it? It's significantly better than being a world champion goat herder, but not quite as good as being the world champion shagger. It's funny actually because I went to give Spum a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "Would you like to masturbate in a cup?" And I said, "I'm really good, but I'm not sure I'm ready for competition." That's a jizzy joke. That is a jizzy joke. Right, Rose leads the way from Bingram. Then makes it a Rapid F1 over Pina, Nat Packers, Moikuli, Komzar, Blanks, Jay Hartnell, Grog, Pro Striker, Pink Eye. Those two IRS drivers are always there or thereabouts together on the racetrack. You have to say that they are very, very similar in terms of pace. Interesting to see battles between those two. Actually, it wouldn't be too bad an idea if those two were actually teammates. That would be quite awesome, and get some really good performances from them not only good racing between them as teammates, but seeing them perform very similarly across the course of a season and seeing what that does for points. So the beautiful AMG Mercedes safety car will be coming in this lap, driven of course by the more attractive as he gets older every day, Bert Mylander. It's not actually been driven by a little AI man, designed by someone from Sports. It's quite funny, so my missus referred to esports in general as EA Sports. And it's quite funny. Bearing in mind that most of her family, most of her children and her partner are involved in some way with esports. Yeah, when you've got a son who's a professional esports player and you still can't call it esports. Anyway, moving on. Rose in the lead of this race, 0.7 of a second ahead of Bingram. Bingram's not going to want to let him pull away if he can help it though. Makes it in third place. There's a battle going on for fourth. Rapid F1 takes third very briefly, makes it, regains that place though. Overpeeners would want to get involved as well, running in fifth place. Nat Packers in sixth. Anything coming from there as Overpeener makes that move on Rapid F1, and Rapid F1 immediately regains that position. That battle between them just raging on. Now, if you're Nat Packers right now, you're thinking, okay, they've had a little ding-dong up there. I only need one of them to catch the other one, and I'm gaining 2 places here, baby. And I'll be like, yeah, boy. That's funny. I need a soundboard thing. Yeah, boy. I'll make one. I'll make one after I've done that package of tunes. And there is the move. It's Mercedes on Mercedes. Rapid F1 makes the move on Overpeener. But Overpeener is not giving this up. And look at that battle raging ahead. Round the outside. Like the 2 Trailer Park Girls M&M had for breakfast. There's the move again. Overpeener making the move back again into fourth place. Rapid F1 just has to sit in behind. And we have to watch, just keep an eye on these two. Absolutely duking it out. As Bingham trying to keep up with Rose. But Rose getting that hammer down and making sure that he gets this job done now. Lap 21 of 29 here. This is the Thursday Tier 1 for Smoking Pirellis. Moy Cooley makes the move on Nat Packers. We were with two between Overpeener and Rapid F1. We forgot that Moy Cooley is on some soft compound tyres. Up into 6th place he goes. As Grog makes the move on Pink Eye. Briefly until Pink Eye makes it again. And back and forth they're going as well. Look at that. These two battling out. These three battling out. Pink Eye, Pro Striker, Grog all having some. Nat Packers and Comzar now. Comzar making the move on Nat Packers. It's not going too well for Nat Packers back there. Now in 8th place. Lost a couple of places. Moy Cooley, then Comzar. Next is going to be Blanks. Is Blanks going to make a move on Nat Packers? And is she going to be able to respond? Sounds weird to do it sound like that. There she is, Nat Packers, right there in the middle of the racetrack. Being hounded by Blanks. That's why nothing went up, because it's Blanks, isn't it? You get me there. You get me. See, I'm I don't even know. Rose leads the way from Bingham. Bingham not able to put any frighteners on Rose, and Rose is going to take this championship with maximum points. Well, not maximum, because he didn't get the pole position point. Makes it in 3rd place. Overpeener now just overpowers Rapid F1 and opens up that little gap. They are teammates, of course, so we'll want to be putting on some big points for Mercedes-Benz. Rose with the fastest lap, it's a 1:30.7. There is Moy Cooley on those soft compound tyres. Needs them to last 10 laps. So needs to have good grip for all 10 laps. The next target is the reigning champion and his teammate. So a lot of work to do to get that Ferrari around the Mercedes. Can Moy Cooley do it? Is there enough grip going to stay in those tyres for the rest of the race to allow them to make this move? Nat Packers again losing out now to Blanks. It was coming and just dropping down that order. In real danger of dropping out of the top 10 at the moment. But the demise of Tony is the only thing saving her from dropping away from potentially nicking second. The gap will close rather than open, which is always good when you're chasing it down. Talking chasing down, we're watching Moy Cooley try on those soft compound tyres to get a little bit more out of the car than Rapid F1 and over Pino ahead in the Mercedes-Benz. But at the moment, they just seem equal to what Roy Cooley is peddling. They're buying what he is selling, and it is properly
denied.
There comes in 17th position, ahead of Blanksterman, who got their way around Nat Packers, but is now 1 second, just outside 1 second, behind Comzar. Bear in mind, Comzar could make the move on Moy Cooley while Moy Cooley was trying to make the move on Rapid F1 ahead. Nat Packers dropped 3 places since the safety car, down into 9th position, 1.1 seconds off the back of Blanks now. Not got it's clearly not her perfect racetrack here, because it's just not a top 3 performance at the moment. Jay Hartnell up to round out that top 10, half a second back from Nat Packers, but under no danger at the moment from Andre, who's running in 11th. Grog 3 seconds back in 12th, and Pro Striker and Pink Eye both diving into the pits for some soft compound tyres, as did Grog towards the end of this race. And clearly it wasn't working for those two on those mediums. They've decided to have a little blast on the softs and see if they can't nick a place or two, or maybe a fastest lap point. So there we go. So we've got now 4 cars running on the soft compound tyre, although 3 of them didn't really need to pit and would have finished higher if they just stayed on the freaking racetrack. I suppose if they're damaged, then they may well have done, but who knows? Who knows? And to be fair, who really was that? That is...
You can't park that there, mate.
Get your car back, facing the right way, Andre. Does, luckily with Grog, Pro Striker and Pink Eye all having pits. Andre doesn't lose any positions there, but is 18, nearly 19 seconds outside that top 10. Back to the race leader. That is a rosé. Of all the wines, it's my favourite kind of wine. I don't drink wine. I'm a man. Of course I do drink wine, but only when it's free. I don't go and buy it. Bingham running in second place, 3 tenths back. Sticking with him, I'll tell you what. Rosé might currently have the fastest lap, but I can tell you this now. Bingham is not going to give this up easy. Rosé will probably, Rosé will still be crowned champion if he doesn't finish first. But you're going to want to win the championship with a race win, right? That's how you want to do it, and then go into that last race with a bit of bragging rights. But Bingham's got other things to say about that. And mostly, I don't give a flip if you're a champion. I want to...
You have stolen my dreams.
Absolutely, that's what he wants to do. And at the moment, get close enough to be able to potentially do that. Over penalised, had a great race today. Did get penalised, and I actually think got penalised quite leniently for the coming together into turn 1. I think turn 1 instance where you're spinning another car around, and I'm talking about lap 1 turn 1 instance, not like random turn 1 instance. I think lap 1 turn 1 instance should have triple penalties applied, because it's just a lack of concentration going into turn 1. Look, we know how important it is that you want to get track position early on, but we're talking about a race that's 29 laps, and if you're going in too hot into turn 1 and you're trying to win it on lap 1 turn 1 when there's 29 laps, maybe the punishment need to be a little bit harsher. But nothing against Overpina. Driving has been awesome today, but 2.8 seconds behind the leaders. I was going to say you're Rosé and Bingham, but we already know that, don't we? Half second back is Meixia, and does have some pressure from Rapid F1. Now, Rapid F1 has seen a teammate Overpina move past Meixia into that top 3, and will desperately want to get involved with that as well. Moy Cooley's still lurking like a crazy pedo outside of primary school. I'm not suggesting for one moment that Moy Cooley is a paedophile, of course. I'm just saying that he's lurking behind that car in a similar way that a Catholic priest would be lurking behind a tree. Comzar in 7th is 1.3 seconds back. I've realised there's some stuff that's come out of my mouth today that can very likely get me banned, and I probably should be a bit more careful. Fuck it. Life's too short. I've been banned from every other social media site so far. Why not YouTube for a change? Nat Packers running in 8th place, 2.6 seconds is the gap behind Comzar, with Jay Hartnell just within the DRS zone of Nat Packers, who has gained a place back, but at the expense of Blanks, who's dropped down the order a bit. So clearly, Blanks has been facing at some stage in the wrong direction. Jay Hartnell running in 9th, Blanks in 10th. Andre running in 11th place, 14.3 seconds outside that top 10. Pro Striker has 22 seconds back from Andre. Pro Striker, Grog and Pink Eye all on the soft compound tyre, all vying for the fastest lap, and none of them actually getting it done. As we see Pink Eye making the move on Grog, Grog making the move on Pink Eye, and then Pink Eye making again the move on Grog. And there's lots of moves, special moves, not so special moves, other moves. Does Pink Eye now make the move on Pro Striker and put Pro Striker into the groggy danger? But no, instead Grog up the inside, going for one overtake, possibly two, and gets absolutely none done. So went for two, then potentially one, and then potentially none. We've lost Jimmy, we've lost Tony, or Pink Eye making a move on Pro Striker now. So it's Grog's chance to have a little go at the Ferrari. Had a go with the Williams. It wasn't going too well there. And now the Williams is ahead of the Ferrari. And now it's Haas versus Ferrari at the back. Let's go. Let's run forward because we are not far off starting the final lap of the race. So Pro Striker is just behind Pink Eye. These three battling it out for 12th, 13th and 14th place. Andre in 11th place, 12.4 seconds back from the top 10, which is rounded out at the moment by Blanks in the Alfa Romeo. 5.9 seconds up the road is Jay Hartnell, who is just outside the DRS zone of Nat Packers in 8th in the other Haas cars. 2.4 seconds to Comzar in the Alpha Tauri, who is 1.2 seconds behind the soft-tyred Ferrari of Muiculi. 1, 2, 3. 7 tenths now behind Rapid F1, not able to battle there. And Makes here has made that move back up into the top 3. So it's Rapid F1 and Over Pina going at it again on this, which is lap 28 of 29. Makes it back into that top 3. There's Bingram in the top 2, second place in fact, 4.1 seconds clear. So the battle really between Rose and Bingram for the lead, and then between Makes here, Ilpina or Over Pina, Rapid F1, and possibly with a little bit of last lap push from Muiculi, or even Comzar if Comzar wants to get involved. But here we go. We start the final lap of the race with Rose leading from Bingram. The gap is half a second. All or nothing now. Just dangle out them balls, Bingram, and see if they bite. See if something works for you. But it's worth, now last lap, it's got to be worth chucking one up the inside and seeing if you can nick a position. Quick or dead, all or nothing, no guts, no glory kind of type scenario. You could just settle in and go, I'm going to get good points for second. But you can't win the championship now, so you might as well have a little go. Why the frick not? We'll see. But Rose currently leading the way and managing that pace well enough just to keep Bingram behind them. And that's Nat Packers making some moves late on. Rapid F1 dropping down into 9th. Jay Hartnell up to 8th. Nat Packers up to 7th. 2.7 seconds to Comzar, but I don't think enough. Unless, of course, someone ahead makes a mistake at this stage. This is on board with Bingham as we're watching them run towards the line. Into Sector 3 we go. Now, that's it. Final sector of the race. Bingham has just 2 corners. Just 1 corner remaining before Rose will take the checkered flag. Rose only needs to get this braking zone right, this last opportunity at accelerating right, and cross the line, and he will be the new series champion. And there he goes, he crossed the line, takes the win. That's Rose, the new series champion, with Bingham coming home in second. Over Pina with a good solid 3rd place. 4th for Makes there. Comzar will come home in 7th place. With Nat Packers jump because of penalties. Nat Packers Nick's 5th position. I should have checked that. Should have paid more attention to that shizzle. So Nat Packers in 5th, Jay Hartnell 6th, Komzar in 7th, Moy Cooley in 8th, Blanks in 9th. Rapid F1 will round out that top 10. Andre coming home in 11th place. Pink Eye is 12th, 13th is his teammate Pro Striker, Prostituta, and Grog YT in last place. But Pro Striker can still nick this. Let's take the winner signal off and watch and see if Pro Striker can nick it at the last. Across the line they go. That was goddamn close, Morphle, but no cigar. So job done. That is a new champion. I think he's going to be officially crowned next week, not this week. Driver of the day, Jay Hartnell. I'd say that was a pretty damn good race from Jay Hartnell. Rose did a good job as well, of course. Over Pina, great job from Over Pina. Rapid F1 as well, back in the mix. But for me, I know he didn't make that many places up, but I think, you're going into the last race. You didn't qualify on pole. You've got a car faster than you, and you hold them off from the safety car to the end of the race to guarantee the championship. I think that's Rose's to deservedly so. I'm going to see if I can get a couple of drivers in quickly. I'm going to have to do a very, very quick interview. In fact, I don't think I've got time. No, I'm going to say that next week, I'll do the interviews next week. I haven't got time this week. I've got another event to do in a couple of minutes' time, and I really, really, really need to have a shit. I'm only joking. But I do need to get a drink though and have a wee before it goes. So let's have a quick run down. Rose wins this race in the Red Bull from Bingham. In the Aston Martin. Over Pina in 3rd place in the Mercedes-Benz. Makes it in the Alpine, finishing in 4th. Nat Packers nicks a couple of places right at the death there in the Haas, finishing in 5th. Jay Hartnell in the 2nd Alpine, finishing in 6th place. Komzar finishing in 7th. 8th is Moy Cooley in the Ferrari. Blanks in the Alfa Romeo comes in 9th. Rapid F1 in the Mercedes, home in the 10th position. Andre in 11th place. Pink Eye in 12th. Pro Striker in 13th. And Grog is the last of the finishers in 14th place. Then it's Omni Jimmy, Tony Derio, Sergat, Lee Craig, and Jizzer rounds out your top 20. 6 DNFs today. But congratulations has to go to your winner again today, Rose, and the new Tier 1 champion. Congratulations. Yeah, as I said, no time for interviews today because I've got to be somewhere pretty quickly. But, listen, I've been Adam Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV. Do stick around if you've got nothing better to do. We're coming into the final rounds of Mitsubishi Evo versus Subaru WRX over on GT7. And it looks like Evo have sewn up the overall Constructors and Team Championship, but there's still to play for across the board, and it's certainly opportunity for Subaru. I think the constructors actually, I think they can still nick it in the Constructors Championship. So do get involved with that, which will be up here in about 10 minutes time. So thank you very much for joining me. This has been Smoking Pirellis. Final round next week comes to you from Portimao, where we will crown our new champion, and maybe if he's really, really fast, give him a reach round. But until then, see you next week.